we are looking here at gameplay right now, and I believe the cool part that I'm loving here. You had mentioned it before, the Levolution.
Yeah.
Right. That has been a big point of interest for a lot of players. What does that mean to the audience? And for people who are just tuning in, what is Levolution?
So Levolution is a concept that we're combining a lot of the things that we've had in the past and adding a lot of new stuff that creates a dynamic and living environment where players actually not only affect the gameplay by how they fight together, but they also use the environments to fight. We can see examples of big things and small things where people when they take down the big skyscraper, that's of course a very big moment.
Yeah.
But you see the bollards, for instance, that you can use to prevent tanks from crossing bridges, where the tank driver then needs to get out of the tank to deactivate those.
Yeah.
So you create a lot of drama by destruction on these walls. We have fire extinguishers that you can take out, and they explode and create a smoke screen, which is awesome. We have like metal detectors down in some of the stores in the Galleria, and they're also down in the subway, where if you pass them, you can actually hear that someone is in the area.
Yeah.
So there's everything from really small things to really big things that actually spices things up and create a dynamic and very living environment.
Yeah, and as we see right here, once again, hopping back to some chopper gameplay, we saw some tank action as well. But Alpha 2 here is just tearing it apart right now.
Really good chopper pilots.
Yeah, and I'm actually quite surprised too, because these are just people who are coming from the convention floor.
Yeah.
They're not, doing anything. They're not like, well, some of them are diehard Battlefield fans, without a doubt. But I think the cool part is just Joes that are playing the game and having a blast. So I do want to ask you a little bit about the various forms of combat.
He's going for C now. This is interesting. He will try to tear them down. This is really cool.
So he's trying to take them down from the top
from the
here.
chopper. They thought they were safe because they're at the top of the building.
But you're never
not
safe.
so much.
So and that brings me back to the thing I want to talk about, which is the various forms of combat.
Yeah.
Infantry base, vehicle base, as well as the air, naval, all that stuff. I mean, only in Battlefield can you get that kind of experience.
Yes.
But how difficult is it to, I guess you could say, balance that out in a sense, and when presenting it to people out there and saying, hey, listen, you can do all these amazing things. What are the initial reactions of people who may never played Battlefield before?
I think that's the great thing about Battlefield, that you can play it in so many different ways. So it doesn't really matter who you are as a player. You can always find your role on the battlefield. Either you're just playing as a supportive person where you help your team to win, or you can be a very offensive person to go hardcore lone wolf, full infantry action. But you can also be a dedicated chopper pilot like this guy, who's apparently he's never giving up. Apparently,
never give up, never surrender.
We have very dedicated tank drivers. We have dedicated, we're adding a lot of boats to the game now, ships and boats. So people will get very good at that as well. And then on top of that, we're adding commander mode, which means that you have a strategic layer on top of the whole game, where people can actually take care of the full team and help them and give them assets and provide support for the team. You see the bollards are up here. They cut back. So just looking at how we toggle between players, we can see that all of them are playing the game in a slightly different way, which is exactly what the game is designed to be.
Yeah, I mean, as you cycle through the players, you saw there was tank action, there was some helicopter pilots, there was a lot of infantry, which is what I like to do. I like to get down on the ground pound, and rush the objective, push the objective. That's what I'm all about. So, and look at this here, actually, is one player. He's at the top of the skyscraper here, and this is a cool thing, right? Because in the last match we saw, this skyscraper did not last very long.
Okay.
It was taken down quite quickly, and that guy went jumping off the building. That's awesome. You can parachute. So that adds another element of just gameplay, because that elevated, right? Now it's elevated. It's not brought down, but when it's brought down, though, then the sea territory becomes, the sea flag becomes a much different area. And now when I guess, developing this game, the DICE guys and all that, what was the theory behind the Levolution? Like, why do this? Why why change the map? Why reinvent the wheel?
I think it lies in the nature of Battlefield that you want the environment. You know, games tradition has been very static and very stale, and the gameplay has been kind of suffering from that because you can easily lock down a map if you know exactly how it's going to play and what it's going to be about. But if you add these layers, you know, the evolution layers with destruction and different variables that changes the map and changes the environment.
Yeah.
Players can actually use that in a very tactical way. So it's not only for, you know, drama and make the game look better. It's actually a very tactical choice that you can use it for.
It's not just to say, hey, look at the pretty particle effects. It's to say, hey, this is something that greatly impacts gameplay, changes up the what people believe is a multiplayer shooter, and I love that. He jumps in the water, gun-ho status. Love that.
We have some new. Speaking of water, we have some new cool, you know, water features. Of course, the whole swimming experience now much better with both, you know, normal swimming, but also sprint swim. Where you can swim faster. You can also duck underwater, and you can defend yourself because you use your sidearm while in water. So the water gameplay has improved quite a lot, actually. So
I love
that's really
that.
cool.
I think it's a really cool element, you know, to bring into the game. I even like the vehicle speed as well. Like you can drive at normal speed, but you can also make the vehicle go a little bit faster, put the pedal to the metal, so to speak, and get to areas quicker. And it really does seem as if the mission this time around, as we watch here, Bravo 24 trying to get down here with that.
He's shooting
CZ.
at a teammate. That's not good.
I think no, I don't know. I think they're enemies. Not entirely sure.
No,
they're
the blue tags are your teammates. So.
Ah, okay. Well, but here's the thing. You know, just in talking about this, what I guess, you know, in regards to speeding up the action, right? Because everyone was always like, yeah, Battlefield's great, it's a fun game, but you know, sometimes it does take a little while to dive into things, right?
Yeah.
This time around, you seemed like you had a mission, and that mission was speed the game up, make it enjoyable. Were those things? Is that critical for you guys moving forward into growing the franchise?
Yes, very much. As you can see, we changed the whole user interface, the whole spawn screen, the whole, you know, kill death loop is vastly enhanced. So that's definitely a big part of. Oh,
here we
it's
go.
Going down.
Here we go. So and we knew it was going to happen. The skyscraper's got to go down. Everyone's down with it. Look at this here. The carnage and chaos it just brings.
Whoa.
Now this changes up the entire gameplay, right, Patrick?
Because you can see the wave.
And the wave goes through. Now there's dust all across the map, which is going to make visibility very difficult.
Yes.
But now C is going to be down at the bottom as well.
So the pilots will now have a very different, you know, environment to fly in, and only the most skilled pilots will be able to cope with this environment.
Yeah, so you gotta have that keen eye for
and as you said, you know, this flag has completely changed now. Don't shoot your friends.
Oh no! So, actually no, they're green. So I believe
that's your squad.
Yeah. Okay. So I think, but regardless of the fact, though, I mean, it seems as if you know, there's a lot of cool gadgets to play around with. Had a good time actually messing around with the with just like the customization, right? And I think it's kind of telling that you guys added a lot of things to it, like the canted sight. I love that, right? I've never really seen that in a game before. I saw it in the single player. Didn't think it was going to make its way to multiplayer. You guys pleasantly surprised me with that one.
Yeah, there's some really cool features if you go, you know, deeper into the game. Again, looking at the customization, there's a lot of things going on there. With, you know, you can now select different knives, for instance. You can add more attachments to your guns. Like canted scopes. You can have flip-up optics, for instance, which is really cool. We have the whole Chinese army, which adds a lot of variation to both the guns and the gadgets, and of course the vehicles. You can see some really cool Chinese vehicles in here.
A lot of variety.
Many things. There's so many new things in the game that you will notice after playing the game for some time. We know that people, when they play Battlefield, they spend a lot of hours in it. So you don't want the game to be too shallow. You want to have this depth that you can figure out as you go along.
Yeah, and when I'm looking at the action and all that stuff that's going on, you can see how dramatically different things have been have changed because of the levolution mechanic that is in the game. This pilot right now dealing with a lot of dust, a lot of debris. Visibility is not as on point as it was prior. And oh man, look at this here, going to be coming down to this tank right there. Nice play by Alpha 02, as he's going to have to scale up on this one. But yeah, so I think that is a pretty cool, you know, mechanic, that levolution thing. It really does change the scope of the game itself, and really, I guess, add variety. Oh, that sucks.
Down.
No, the other thing I want to ask you about is commander mode.
Yes.
Why bring it back?
I think it's, you know, we're at the time where we think that, you know, commander mode actually adds a lot of value to the players, not only the actual commanders that play against each other, but also to everyone on the ground. So commanders are, you know, adding a layer of strategic value to the actual commanders, but also a layer of, you know, epic action moments for the people on the ground. You know, the team needs to capture points to give the commander options. For instance, you don't get all your options until you have captured all the control points. So the commander really needs the people on the ground, and the people on the ground really need the commander.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the fact that if you don't care about the commander, it's transparent. It doesn't change the game for you. It just
you can still play the game the way that you want to play it.
Yeah, so it adds a layer of value to those people that care about it.
And then one of the other points that I was particularly taken away by was the use of the commander mode on tablet.
Yes.
I thought that was awesome, right? Because, you know, there are times where I'm probably going to be hanging out in my home, you know, laying on my bed thinking, what can I do? Well, I can hop on commander mode and just play on my tablet. So, I mean, how was the decision process in implementing that into the game? I mean, that surely must have been difficult.
Yes, we have a tendency to do difficult things at DICE.
I see that.
We often talk about Battlefield from a very high concept level, not so much what you can do, but what we should do. And then we have to figure that out later on how to actually do it.
Yeah.
Commander mode on tablet it just felt natural. Like, you can play Commander, you play on the same servers as the infantry guys, but you don't really need the fidelity and the detail that the players that are on the PC or on the console that they need. So tablets might not work from a first-person perspective that well.
Okay.
But Commander mode is actually very strategic and actually perfect for a tablet.
Yeah.
So to us that felt very natural, and we wanted to make sure that when you play on the tablet, it should feel like the same game and interacting with the same people that are playing the first-person experience.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm a big fan of it. I can't wait to get my grimy little hands on it and dabble in commander mode on my tablet, and just commander mode in general, because I just like the strategic element of it. So thank you very much, Patrick. I appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Battlefield 4 is truly amazing, and thank you for breaking it down for us on the stream.
Much.
All right, guys, so we are going to be right back with some more action coming at you live from E3 2013. This Battlefield 4 brought to you by DICE. And guys, it is awesome. We'll be right back.